Okay, good morning. Okay, so here we are, January 20th, 2022. We're looking at a 5-1 profile, so heretic investigator. So that's going to be kind of the energy for the day is creative, out there ideas, but then on the subconscious, figuring out why. Why? That's the big question is why. And so we're going to get into this a little bit more. And the energy for the day is manifesting generator. So really responding to that gut feeling and then later determining if it's something to be kept or something not to be kept, right? Today we're looking at energy involved with changes, balancing changes, and visiting the rationale of whether something should be changed or not. So really kind of looking at our lives and the different things that are involved with it, whether it be our job situation, whether it be school, for instance. It can be anything that is going on in your life that you either deem to be beneficial or not beneficial. So we're gonna have energy where we're gonna feel pressure to move in a direction, but there isn't going to be a fixed direction. So this is really going to have to be you feeling out which way that you have to go, you feeling out what is going to be the best decision for you, right? So in that sense, you might feel a little bit lost because in making these decisions, when we look at the grand picture of things and we look at where am I now and where am I going, there might be a feeling that you don't actually know where you're headed, especially today. You might wake up and you might feel desire to do something and to get out and do something, but to actually achieve a very specific goal that might not be there. You might just want to get out and just do something for the sake of doing it. Not to say that it's an impulsive decision, but there's just a drive. There's a drive there, and you need to fulfill that drive, right? So we're going to revisit aspects of how we rationalize things. There's going to be a lot of thinking today, and a lot of thinking about creative ideas, and then that's going to kind of stay in presence for at least the next few days. There's going to be an aspect of mystery, of creative ideas that kind of that stimulate our brains and make us want to think about things. And there's an idea of the now. The ego wants to look at now, where the ego is placed and what importance the ego has. How important are one's fixed patterns? When we think about how we live, everything is a ritual. Everything, well, not everything, but most things we do are rituals. They're patterns. We get up, we brush our teeth, we have a cup of coffee, we eat, we go to work. These are patterns. These are rituals because we do them every day, and we do them regularly in a pattern. And so it's looking at these patterns in our life and saying, is this suitable? Is this going to continue to be suitable? And if it's not, why am I doing it? Right? So in a way, there is starting to be almost like a revolution, a inner recognition of power within oneself, and saying, you know what, this isn't working for me. I need something else. I, right? When making decisions, yeah, it's great to ask for input from other people. These are, depending on your alignments, you could actually find stability in your relationships and then use that to help you find guidance, but that all depends, right? So here we are. Sun, 0 degrees Aquarius. Okay, it's Aquarius season. First day, but we ain't gonna be feeling that energy till about like the third day in, right? Because then it's mastered, right? So Sun 0 degrees Aquarius. The Moon is 0 degrees Virgo. I'm just gonna pull up a chart so we can actually see what's going on. I just write little notes so I know what I'm talking about and can keep up with everything. And that's gonna, I guess that's in a way, that's almost the energy too. Virgo wants to write everything down. Virgo wants to plan everything almost like to the minutes. Like at this time, I'm gonna get up. At this time, I'm gonna go do this. At this time, I'm gonna have lunch. At this time, I'm gonna get this, and this done, right? So it's very organized, very planned, depending on the other alignments that are with it. So the North Node right now is in Gemini, but it's cusping Taurus, so it's starting to move into that. So it's beginning to look at relationships, and not necessarily romantic relationships, relationships that involve friendships, relationships that involve business partners, whatever that may be for you. So we're beginning to look at our relationships and who we're surrounded by. And we're going to start to move towards finding people who will not only grow with you. The other aspect of it is, as long as they stay around in the beginning, just that beginning idea until it's actually solidified and it can move somewhere. It's stable, grounded. So you're going to find people who are going to stay there for that. Whether or not they actually stay, that's a different question. You might not necessarily even need them to stay. But it's finding those people for that project, whatever that may be. Finding those people that you actually relate to. So, and even in that sense, we're we're having some energy right now with the moon cusping Virgo, like right on 0 degrees. And also the North Node right now being in Taurus. So it's taking that Jupiter and Pisces, feeling out where we're going, kind of not lackadaisical, but just feeling it out. We're gonna go from that to actually having an energy that says, no, we're gonna make it real. We're gonna make it real and we're gonna move. If I actually, it's one thing to dream about our goals and our desires and to envision the life that we want for ourselves. Then there's an energy that comes in that says, why don't we make it real? Why don't we actually do it? If you keep thinking about it and you want it so bad, why don't you actually do it, right? So Chiron is also in Aries right now, and I feel that this is going to be more like a generational thing. There's going to be people who are starting to wake up, and what I mean by wake up, they're going to start feeling that oppression. They're going to start feeling that injustice. They're going to feel that wounded part of them is oppressed, right? And they're going to want to push out of that. They're going to want to say, no, I don't want to listen to that anymore. I mean, look what's happening in the UK. Look what's happening in certain places where people are finally waking up and they're saying, you know what, man, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this, right? I don't want to have to keep wearing these things. I don't want to have to keep rolling up my sleeve, right? There's going to be people who are waking up to that, who are looking at the patterns that they're doing and saying, this doesn't suit me anymore. This doesn't make me feel elevated. This makes me feel small. This makes me feel stuck. I don't want to be stuck. So I'm going to move. I'm going to move regardless of what it is. It's like a survival instinct, right? If you feel like your survival is being threatened, you're going to do whatever you need to do to get out of that. Your body will do that. You will instinctively do that, right? So right now, the way things are, where we have this structure, the sun, and the thoughts, they are all aligned, especially for someone being born today. Right now, they're all aligned. So these things are going to kind of push you outside of your comfort zone, but you're not even going to realize. You're not even going to realize that it's outside of your comfort zone. The way that it's going to come across as is that, oh, I thought this way all along, or it's going to be a kind of energy where since everything's aligned, you're going to be like, oh, I already thought that way. Or it's not going to come across like it's out of your comfort zone. You're going to kind of recognize it, but you're going to be like, oh, maybe I'm just open. I'm open to that now, you know. I'm open to trying new things. Things that are a little weird and things that nobody ever thought of before. What if I approach it like this? What if I move things around in my room and change things up a little bit? You know? So kind of cool. We got some changes that are starting to occur. And this also impacts our career moves too. Kind of shifting into an area of career that, especially with those relationships, we have energies right now. We have philosophies about our relationships, um, practical relationships, evaluating the quality of relationships, whether it might not necessarily be thinking too much about whether we want to start a relationship with somebody or not. It's going to be one of those things where, well, this kind of fits my philosophies about what I want in the long term, so maybe this person is good for me because they kind of think about the same kind of things, or they want the same kind of things in the future. They can help me build something. And it's also asking ourselves, in some cases, if you're already in certain kinds of relationships, asking yourself if it's sustainable. Is this going to grow past this, or where is this energy going to go? This is the kind of energy, even sometimes. So I'm looking at Mars and Sagittarius and Venus in Capricorn, and sometimes Venus in Capricorn gets very fixated on those status things. It kind of looks at it and almost jumps the gun at the beginning because, well, this person, it's kind of like looking at a person like a resume. Oh, this person, they have all these attributes that they can bring to the table and to create a successful relationship. It doesn't always work like that, though. You do have to consider emotional pulse. You have to consider that water. Where is that? Where is that water flowing, right? Where is that water coming from? Um, and with Mars too, with Sag, it's and in that eighth house, so it's involving the aspect of sex and also involving the aspect of death. So sometimes these energies in a person, at least, it's almost like for a person with lots of Capricorn and Sagittarius energy, they're almost going to be too hard on themselves. Anything they do is essentially not going to be good enough. And you'll see these people and you'll think that they're amazing, that whatever they set their mind to, they'll do it. But that's the thing. Where do you stop? Where do you stop? Where is good enough? So this is going to reflect in some relationships, it might not be as black and white as that, where you're saying, oh, is this good for me, is this not good for me? I mean, it very well could be, but it's gonna play out in a more subtle way, just thinking of long term, whether you want to stay in something or whether you want to move out of something. So you know, pick and choose wisely. Only you know best. Only you know best, because you know, even if you don't know objectively that this is what I want, your body will have a feeling. Sometimes, some days I'm like sitting here, I'm like, I don't know what the heck I want to do, but I'm doing something. I'm alive. I wake up, I move in certain directions. So regardless of whether you actually have that hard knowledge or whether you don't, your body will instinctively tell you, especially during this time. You will literally feel, no, this is not right. Or even in some cases, you might be looking at certain situations and you're like, I've had it with this. And people will tell you, no, just stay in it, just stay in it, just a little while longer, just a couple months, and just think about it later. But you already know. You've already known for 3 years or 5 years, whatever it is. You've already known. You've already known that it doesn't work for you. So how will you go about this year differently than the last? Are you gonna let yourself be oppressed? Are you gonna allow other people to choose your relationships? Are you gonna allow people to make your decisions? Yes or no, right? Take your dreams, make them real. And you have no idea how easy it is to say no to somebody. Just say no. And they get mad at you? Okay. That's it. I am protected with white light. It surrounds me. I am of it. And it protects you too. It brings you positivity. It brings you joy. Okay? Love and light, peeps. Have a good day.